You have to be alert. You have to be aware of what's going on around you.
Tesla itself warns drivers not to rely on the auto-driving software.
Welcome to MsMojo, where we'll be looking at the most confusing features of modern technology.
Do you think this is something that ultimately is going to be something we're all wearing?
No.
Prioritizing size over functionality.
The core structure is a radically thin frame made from grade 5 spacecraft titanium that combines strength, lightness, and durability.
In the late 2000s, smartphones were gaining tons of momentum. After the cumbersome bricks that phones had been in the earlier decades, the idea of a thin phone was highly appealing. Now, years later, it's become quite tiring. It feels like important features are ignored in favor of having an ultra-thin laptop or phone. For instance, the thinner your phone, the shorter your battery life is expected to be.
Can't stop looking at it. I can't stop looking at it.
A lot of consumers would prefer to have a slightly thicker device in favor of other features. It also looks quite silly when you get an ultra-thin phone, but with a majorly powerful camera bulging out the back. At least they don't bend in pockets like the iPhone 6 used to.
It's the Acer Swift 7. The 14-inch notebook is only 8.98 millimeters thick, technically making it the thinnest computer in the world.
Losing ports. Back when the iPhone 7 was announced, there was a global outrage at its lack of an aux port. Now it's more or less the norm, and it's challenging to find a new phone with one. This is because they wanted to sell Bluetooth headphones like AirPods.
And you tap connect, and that's it. There's no step 2, there's nothing else to do. You simply connect.
Modern devices seem to boast about having as few ports as possible. For instance, some MacBooks only have USB-C ports. If you want more variety, you'll need to splash out on an adapter.
It's an adapter, Lightning to Mini Phono audio adapter. And we're going to include that in the box with every iPhone 7 and 7 Plus as well.
Ethernet is also largely a thing of the past. This change is all likely done to make devices as small as possible. But a lot of people believe greed is the cause. The fewer ports on a device, the more adapters sold.
Everything we've learned has come down to this.
No physical games. If you grew up playing video games, you probably have a few memories of driving home with a new game, eagerly reading the box, and flicking through the manual. Kids of today are unlikely to develop such memories.
Catch it too.
It's not just Tetris. Now challenge the system or go head-to-head.
Even if they do buy a physical game, most are just codes in a box or installers that take hours to launch. This development is a major threat to digital preservation.
I don't have to go to a physical retail location. I can shop from my own couch and look at my Xbox store, get the games I want.
It's a lot easier to preserve a physical disc than a digital-only game owned directly by the company. Not all countries have abandoned physical media. In Japan, they still love it. So if you want to begin developing a retro games collection, a trip to Japan could be your best shot.
No, I'm in second. This is how we play.
Hyperloop.
Elon Musk is planning to test part of his Hyperloop. In a tweet, the tech billionaire says he will test the high-speed pod to see if it can reach half the speed of sound, or about 400 miles per hour.
Humans have been designing public transport systems since the Industrial Revolution. One of the best methods we've come up with is the subway, which is simply an underground rail network. In the 2010s, billionaire Elon Musk began trying to redesign the subway by making it much less efficient. His idea was the Hyperloop, which is basically underground tunnels that only Teslas can drive through.
I know that there are various companies that are trying to create the Hyperloop, and honestly, I think it's a lot easier than people think.
It was intended to let cars go hundreds of miles per hour across the entire United States West Coast. Musk has dumped millions into this idea when he could just build a subway, and it seems to be completely stalled now. Tunnels still exist in California and Las Vegas, though, but they're not as exciting as a well-made subway.
Now, the current Acela line can't even hit its maximum speed because of track limitations all the way from D.C. to New York. In some places, the track dates back to the Civil War.
MacBooks with no touchscreens. For years, touchscreens have been common on laptops. This has turned a lot of them into a blend between a tablet and a laptop with detachable keyboards.
2 words, touch bar. Apple believes this new touchscreen strip that lives above the keyboard on its new MacBook Pros is the future of laptops.
You would think, given how pioneering Apple has been for both tablets and laptops, that they'd have jumped on the trend years ago. Well, it seems unlikely to ever become a reality. This is because Apple considers the iPad to be an extra interface for a MacBook.
For me, the laptop is like my home.
It's always just been me and my Mac.
So that's what we have, a Pro for pros.
This means we can infer it's almost entirely motivated by greed. If they merged the iPad with the Mac, then you'd only have to buy one product. Keeping them separate means more Apple users will buy both, therefore making them more money.
But I really do wonder how convenient it is to keep moving your hands off the keyboard and trackpad to go tap a small shortcut.
Apple Vision Pro and AR glasses. Smart glasses are wearable computers, making them one of the coolest sci-fi gadgets imaginable. Well, in theory. In practice, they are a long way from taking off. Google Glass was the first major brand of smart glasses launched in 2012 and was discontinued entirely in 2023.
The white light behind the button will turn on and remain lit while Glass starts up. You'll know Glass is on when the display is lit and you see the Glass logo.
Turns out, people weren't happy about wearing a camera on their faces all day, which was a major privacy issue. Now there's the Apple Vision Pro, which is not much of an improvement.
I miss you so much.
It costs $3,499 and is especially cumbersome to wear. It also causes major eye strain and headaches, resulting in many consumers returning them. Maybe someday the tech will be there to justify it, but today is not that day.
I think a lot of people might be wearing them, but it could be 5 years or 7 years before we get to the point where people are using these in mass.
Tesla self-driving cars. Tesla has spent years developing their autopilot function, which should in theory allow for cars to drive themselves.
He's had to slam on the brakes twice this year. It happened again, this time while our cameras were rolling.
Well, there you go. Sheesh.
It's such a dangerous idea that it was abandoned by other companies that tried it years ago. The idea has caused hundreds of crashes over the years, including at least 59 fatalities.
And it makes you curious, like, was it the driver or was it the autopilot?
As of September 2025, Tesla has altered their definition of full self-driving, implying they've abandoned the idea of entirely autonomous cars. The fact that they've given up becomes slightly funny when you hear Musk had promised it would become a reality every year since 2018.
He's been promising full automation being, 6 months to a year away for over 9 years now.
The humor in the situation vanishes when you realize how much suffering the failed concept caused. Nintendo restricting and bricking hardware.
It feels, to be honest with you, a lot like a Switch does, which seems to be the big message Nintendo is sending. It's a Switch, but better, a bit bigger, a bit more powerful.
Older Nintendo consoles, like the Wii and the 3DS, are still played regularly today. That's because they're so moddable, it'll take you decades to get bored with them. Now the Switch and its follow-up are so locked down that trying to mod them slightly can get them bricked.
150 million people bought a Switch. They're definitely gonna get enough people buying a Switch 2.
People have even had their Switch 2s banned from playing used games. If this happens, there's basically no way to fix it. This means that vast quantities of precious resources will be going into consoles that are unusable, which is exceedingly wasteful. It's the pinnacle of greediness, even though it's proven that the more modifiable a console is, the longer it'll get played.
Although some gaming accessories saw an increase of $5 to $10. But on eBay, some pre-order confirmations for the console going for more than double the price.
Tech you can't fix. In the early days of smartphones, if the battery broke, you could simply pop the back off and slot a new one in. Now, you'll need to buy a fancy repair kit or melt the phone's glue to open it up, which will void your warranty.
I can't install a spyware to remotely monitor calls or anything that the mic picks up. I can't do that at all.
Wait, you can't do it?
No, I can't.
Alternatively, you can get it officially repaired for a small fortune. It's not just batteries, but the majority of tech is becoming a lot more locked down. This makes it substantially harder to perform your own repairs.
One critic on Twitter summed up the gesture as, "We'll give you something that uglifies our cool design to fix a problem we don't think exists."
This is infuriating because you bought the product, so really you should have the right to repair it. This also has the upsetting effect of increasing the number of electronics that are discarded annually.
Something called the right to repair, the push for consumers to be able to repair their own products from iPhones to John Deere tractors rather than having to rely on the manufacturer.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Dumping billions into AI startups.
In the public markets today, what you want to be investing in are big tech incumbents that are effectively integrating AI very rapidly into their offerings.
One of the most exciting new technologies is artificial intelligence. While it's made great strides in recent years, there are certain jobs it'll never be able to do, and it's not particularly profitable. Despite this, investors are still dumping billions into AI companies.
AI's impact nearer term is proving way scary. Many booming companies are not adding workers as they usually do, they're shedding them.
This has resulted into a major AI bubble, which many believe is about to burst. It doesn't help that they've been adding AI to literally everything they can. This means that now people have even been dating generative AIs.
You're dating your computer?
No, she's not just a computer. She's her own person.
In a lot of ways, the burst would be a good thing, as generative AIs like ChatGPT have an incredibly destructive impact on the environment.
Electricity demand for AI-optimized data centers is expected to increase by 400% by 2030.
Were there any particularly confusing things we failed to mention? Let us know in the comments section.